Welcome back. It is me, Alien Star, and today we're going to be discussing something that I feel needs to be discussed because it is a huge part of Dragon Ball Super, and that is the Super Saiyan God forms. This includes Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan Blue, and Ultra Instinct, even though technically it's not just a Saiyan form, but the only individual that has so far been shown to use Ultra Instinct, in the anime at least, to its full extent is a Saiyan, i.e., Goku. So, what exactly are we going to be talking about in retrospect to these forms? Well, specifically, I want to talk about the look of the forms and why they fail, in my opinion, as forms for the show. So, let's start off with what makes a good form. Is it the power level? Is it anything else? Well, in my opinion, a form can be one of two things, and a good form can be both of those things. So, what are those two things? Well, the first thing is story narrative. And what do we mean by that? If we take a look at the Super Saiyan form, the very first form that Goku unlocks in Dragon Ball Z when he faces off against Frieza and completes the Saiyan legend. That is an iconic form. Why? Because the Super Saiyan form was hyped for so long. We got countless little tidbits of Super Saiyan this, Super Saiyan that. The legend of the Super Saiyan. The Super Saiyan was supposed to be this almighty warrior who had the strength of 1,000 Saiyans or whatnot. And when Goku actually unlocked that power, we already knew what that power was, and we saw it coming. That's what made a good form. Now, what's the second thing? The second thing is simple, it's just design. The design of a form is what can carry it to its height. I mean, after all, if you have a form that doesn't look good, people won't like it a whole lot. So, what are my problems with the Super Saiyan God forms? Or the transformations in Super in general? This also includes forms like Golden Frieza. Well, the fact that they're just color swaps is a little bit disappointing to me because I was really hoping that they would go in a more interesting direction with this, especially with Frieza, with what they showed in the past of another form beyond the forms that these characters already had. I mean, GT did a lot of things wrong, but one thing it did get right was the creation of Super Saiyan 4, and generally everyone can agree on that, because Super Saiyan form is narratively interesting. It's the connection between Saiyans in their Ozaru form, and its look, because it looks vastly different from the other forms, thus stabilizing its place in the mythos of Dragon Ball and making people actually want merchandise from it and actually want to see it more because it looks so visually interesting and visually pleasing. And you guys may be saying, well, Super Saiyan God may look interesting, Super Saiyan Blue may look interesting, Ultra Instinct looks very interesting. Well, yes, they look interesting with color, but in my opinion, in order to have a good form, you need to be able to pick out these forms from a simple silhouette. Goku and Vegeta's hair does not change at density or size or anything when they turn into the god forms. It just turns into different colors. And if you put that in a silhouette, you can't tell the difference between Super Saiyan God Goku to Ultra Instinct Goku to Base Goku. And you can't tell the difference between Super Saiyan Goku and Super Saiyan Blue Goku. But you guys may be saying, well, what about Super Saiyan 2? Super Saiyan 2 is still a widely loved form, and it doesn't really add a whole lot in terms of design. Well, yes, that's true. It still had a story, and it still adds something that you can see in a silhouette. Super Saiyan 2 is a form that wasn't as kind of built up upon as Super Saiyan was, We didn't get that much lore for it. We just kind of got tidbits of Goku saying that Gohan can surpass him in terms of Super Saiyan power and unlock a form beyond Super Saiyan. That's pretty much all we get in terms of lore and build up for that form. But that only serves to be the basis of that form. Because later in the season, in the saga, when Gohan fights against Cell, we see him actually let go of his kind of geeky, uh, mathematical fighting style, rather choosing to act more upon emotion. And that's what the Saiyan forms thrive on, is emotion. Um, so that's what makes that form interesting, is the fact that it had a good story narrative. And though it can't necessarily be easily distinguishable amongst the Super Saiyan form, you can still love Super Saiyan 2 just for the narrative alone, and that's what makes a good form. So, what can we do to fix these Saiyan forms, even though it's way too late to fix those forms? Well, again, I harken back to Dragon Ball GT. Because, again, if GT got one thing right, it's Super Saiyan 4. I think that they moved in an entirely wrong direction with the forms that they showed in Super. Why do I think that? Well, Super Saiyan 4 was all built up on previously known history. The Golden Ozaru form, you had the Saiyans tapping in to their Ozaru power while they were still in a humanoid form. That fits brilliantly with the Saiyans and their just backstory. And you can tell it fits because they do a similar thing with Broly in Dragon Ball Super, to where he taps into his Ozaru form, but in a humanoid state, and he just gets that unyielding power. A power that is so powerful that it can even take on the likes of Super Saiyan God, which is supposed to be a god transformation. So naturally, it's incredibly powerful. But what else sets these forms apart? We've already talked about their looks. Now it's time to talk about their story. We didn't really get much build up to Super Saiyan God or Super Saiyan Blue. With Super Saiyan God, it was Beerus waking up, knowing that there was a Super Saiyan God out there, going to Goku, explaining to him how he can unlock the form, and Goku just unlocks it through ritual, which I think is terrible for Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball Super in general. Because when you unlock power through a ritual, you don't go through the hardship of obtaining that power. You don't go through the character growth, what the character goes through to obtain that power, and what they may risk by unlocking that power. With Super Saiyan God, it's just, okay, I have this power now, time to fight. And I don't think that's how forms should be handled. Now, with Super Saiyan Blue, it's even worse, because they literally just, hey, we can do this now, click. It's not good storytelling in terms of that part of Super. And I have to give Ultra Instinct credit for this. Ultra Instinct at least has a minor story drive behind it. We get told maybe once what Ultra Instinct is. We get hints of it when Whis is training Goku and Vegeta. He tells them to not think about their actions completely, to let their bodies fight for themselves. And that's how you unlock Ultra Instinct. But just that little sentence isn't enough to make Ultra Instinct a good form, in my opinion. So, that's my take on the Super Saiyan God forms, and why I think they're just terrible. Anyway, guys, if you like the video, please like and subscribe. Don't forget to don't forget to hit that bell icon, is what I meant to say. And also, I'd like to hear your comments about these Super Saiyan God forms and what you guys think of them. Anyway, guys, I'm Alien Star, and I'll see y'all next time.